It's the thrill of one more kill, the last one to fall. Who never sacrificed their will. Hey everybody, it's Josh again. Welcome back to more Pikmin 2. In the last episode, we increased our red Pikmin count by at least 40. Defeated a red Bulborb. And as you can see up there, it is getting close to sunset already. So, without further ado, we're going to go into this hole. The Emergence Cave. And as you can see, right below the name of it, you can see what hazards are in there. But there are no hazards in there, it seems like, because they would be lit up if there were traps in here. Anyway, we have our 60 red Pikmin, Olimar, and Louie go into the Emergence Cave. And it saves every time you enter a sub-level. Emergence Cave, sub-level 1. I'm going to spoil it and say there are only 2 floors in this entire cave. And there's the ship's research pod. Wah, 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 wah. Intriguing, my heat sensors indicate that this hole's interior is warm than on the surface. Analysis suggests danger lies ahead, but the promise of treasure is tantalizing. If you wish to check underground terrain, press the plus button to communicate with me. I am not just a ship. I am an all-purpose support pod. Well, I think you're just a ship, so I'm just going to call you the ship. As you can see, we do have a treasure here. And there's no one over there. But, by the way, we have an introduction of a new enemy. These are kind of like red Bulborbs, except they're kind of the same except for their color pattern. Snow Bulborbs. I want to try to kill these guys before you get that treasure there. And we got our next treasure, which looks like an orange. But the ship likes to call it the Citrus Lump. That's just... Anyway. You can see we have another treasure here, which looks like a 7-Up bottle cap. And we can also carry the enemies back. And look at that! We have another hole. This hole appears to be quite deep. My sensors indicate more treacherous terrain ahead. Louie, do you recall that you can adjust the camera with Z and up, left, and right on the D-pad, correct? Your expression suggests you do. Excellent, since they have no idea of talking in this game except for their notes and the enemies and treasures. Don't worry, all your Pikmin will follow you. Approach the hole and press the A button to enter it. Well, about that, only the Pikmin that you have called with you. If there are any free Pikmin, they will not follow you. You can actually carry the enemies back to the ship. It's actually very funny what happens if you collect your first enemy. In the cave, that is. And watch what happens. Small Bulborb, and... Kurzizerk! How can you possibly consider this beast a treasure? Beasts are incompatible with my circuitry. I suppose I will store your finds in my hold. But I do not think beasts will be worth much. Yeah, the small beasts are not really worth that much, but if you want to, you can collect them for a little bit of cash. And we got a 7-Up bottle cap with 100 Pokos. We got the Quenching Emblem. Kinda cool. And that sound you just heard means that there are no more treasures on this floor. And this actually tells you that there are no more treasures. And as you can see, Snow Bulborbs are only worth 2 Pokos. And when we encounter bosses in this game and you defeat them, they're like worth like up to 15 Pokos, I believe it is. Some would be worth more, I don't know. Anyway, gotta be going deeper into this Emergence Cave. Emergence Cave, sub-level 2. The final floor of the first dungeon in the game. As you can see, we got some more Snow Bulborbs. Crush them! Okay, good, they crushed them. And look what we got here. And look, it is the top half of a globe. It's inconceivable that such an immense object has been buried here for so long. The design on the outer shell resembles the surface of the planet as seen from space. Which means the distant planet is actually the Earth. Perhaps this can be used for something other than salvage. But how will we ever lift it? I fear that even 100 red Pikmin will be unable to lift it. And, as you can see, Nintendo actually be a jerk about that statement. Because this thing takes 101 red Pikmin to lift it. But there is no possible way we can get 100 red Pikmin right now. So, fortunately, we're not going to get that treasure for a little bit. And we have another Snowball Orb. Snowball Orb, die. Yeah, crush you. Okay. And there's more of them. Die. Oh, I died. No, you are not going to eat my Pikmin. I think Dwarf Bulbars are like some of the weakest enemies, actually. That back. While they're carrying that back, look right here. We have the introduction of Candy Pop Buds. These are purple. Astounding! A flower blooms in a cave deep beneath the snowy landscape. Clearly, it is warmer down here than above. Look, the Pikmin are restless. They look as if they yearn to be tossed into the flower. So, when you see a Candy Pop Bud, if you want to, which you're going to have to in this case, you're going to use your Pikmin that you don't really want, which is, right now, my reds, which I'm forced to use. Toss your Pikmin into the center of the flower. You can only toss in 5, and the Candy Pop Bud looks like that. Look at that. Purple Pikmin seeds. So, I guess you know what will happen if I pluck this. Pluck away! And now, we have the introduction to Purple Pikmin. These are the biggest and chubbiest Pikmin you'll find. Amazing! A purple Pikmin! It has hair. Or, as I like to think, it has eyelashes, which I always thought the purples were females. Anyway. And it's quite stocky. It seems very heavy and strong. This kind of Pikmin was not mentioned in your report, Olimar. It must be an entirely new type. Yeah, there are 2 new types of Pikmin we're going to find in this game. Well, actually 3. Yeah, there was one other type of Pikmin I forgot. We're going to find 6 different types of Pikmin here. Transforming Pikmin by tossing them into Candy Pop Buds, not really flowers. Intriguing. Perhaps there are others. Yes, there are other Candy Pop Buds. Purple Pikmin. They are not immune to any elements, but they have the strength of 3 Pikmin when they attack in battle. Where that's twice as much as a red Pikmin, where red Pikmin only have a 1.5 times battle ratio, where purple Pikmin have 3 times. And when lifting treasures, purple Pikmin have the strength of 10 Pikmin in order to lift things. And as you can see, the purples can run even slower than the reds when they're leaves. Which kind of sucks, but it's okay. And now, you can actually lift this thing. And as you can see, it's still going slow, but we have my red Pikmin on the other side of this. You now have a total of 150 Pikmin carrying that thing. Even though we need only 101 to lift it. The bigger the object, the more Pikmin is required to lift it. Come on, hurry up.
2 hours later.
Come on, almost there. And here we have one of our more important treasures, right here. We found a very useful treasure, worth 200 Pokos, almost 1,000 already. The Spherical Atlas, which is basically in the northern hemisphere of the globe. There is a device resembling a microchip embedded inside this sphere. Or half sphere, more like it. Retrieving data. Error. I could only decode a portion of the data, but I did retrieve new geographical charts. I will input this data into my planetary database and name it the Sphere Chart. Press the plus button to contact me, and go to the exploration kit on the radar screen by pressing left on the D-pad. Now that we have this new data, you should explore the decoded territory tomorrow. Yeah, because we picked this up, we can now enter a totally new area in this game. And there's that noise telling us that there is no more treasure on this floor. We now have a total of 60 Pikmin following us, including the purples. Either that or I forgot some somewhere. No, I didn't, because those 10 reds that I threw in turned into these purples. So, yeah, I'm okay on the count. So I don't want to be like, what do you mean I did bad on Pikmin count? Anyway, if you look up here, we have a geyser. Geysers are different than holes. Astounding! Water is shooting out of this geyser with incredible force. Sensors indicate it has enough power to launch you into the air. Approach it and press the A button to try. And as you can see, the geyser will probably push us up through that hole there. Okay, approach it. Skate to the surface with your Pikmin. If you've collected all the treasures and you're fine with your Pikmin count, then select yes. Now immediately launch it back up to the surface with all the Pikmin you collected. Treasures we found. And 0 Pikmin deaths. Alright. Cave complete. When you see that, that means you've collected all the treasures in that cave and you do not have to go back there ever again. Unless you want to. We found 22 Pokos worth of creatures. We got the Quenching Emblem, the Citrus Lump, and the Spherical Atlas. And we now have a total of 952 Pokos, almost 1,000 already. Let's go ahead and save, which it'll let you save every time you get through a dungeon, which are caves in this game. The Valley of Repose, we're going back. And after you clear a cave, every time you do, it'll just land you back near this landing spot right here. You have successfully returned to the planet's surface. Excellent decision-making, gentlemen. I like this ship being nice to me now. We must celebrate your first successful spelunking expedition. You've gathered a large amount of data that needs in-depth analysis. I shall send a report back to the President tonight detailing your progress. Olimar and Louie, since you will explore a new area tomorrow, today's work is done. What? You still want to work? Unacceptable! You may not realize it, but you are exhausted. Man, I wish my bosses were more like that. You want to work? Unacceptable. I like that. You should take a much-needed rest, as you have all the time you need to collect the treasure. Yeah, that's a new thing in this game, where in Pikmin 1, you only have a total time of 30 days in order to collect all the ship's parts before your oxygen ran out. In Pikmin 2, there is no actual day limit. So, you can spend as many days as you want collecting the treasure, but it's okay. Haste makes waste, so take it slow and steady. And that's a new memo I need to add to my list of memos. So, we're forced to end the day today. Now, you might notice purple Pikmin do not have their own onions. So, where do they possibly go? They go into the ship's hull! And get to follow you, which is actually very nice, since purple Pikmin are kind of useful later on. They're the strongest Pikmin in the game. And goodbye again, Dwarf Bulborb. See you tomorrow. Or maybe not, because we might be going in there. Okay, so see you sometime. Today's report. see what we got. Found the Spherical Atlas, the Utter Scrap, the Citrus Lump, the Quenching Emblem, and 22 Pokos worth of creatures. We found 952 Pokos out of 10,000, so we've almost paid a tenth of the debt. Count. Our reds and purples went up. Now let's see how many Pikmin I lost. Lost 4 in battle. I think losing Pikmin in battle is the best way you could lose Pikmin. And leaving them behind after sunset is probably the worst way you can lose Pikmin. Because that basically means you forgot all about them. Anyway, we only lost 4 today, but that's okay. We got some mail. Baby steps first, Olimar. Plan well and don't worry about me. Our debt is with Happy Hocotate Savings and Loan, after all. Besides, there's nothing left to repossess, so ha! And we're gonna go ahead and save today. Now that we have cleared our first dungeon, and there's the epic music saying that we have discovered a new area, the Awakening Wood. Every area we go to is based on the 4 seasons. The Valley of Repose is based on winter, and the Awakening Wood is based on spring. And the 2 areas we'll discover later on are the seasons summer and fall. Anyway, I think we're going to end this episode off here. Next time on Pikmin 2, we are going to be discovering the Awakening Wood, and hopefully finding something new that we can do. So, see you guys then.